Abusuafo ne adɔfo mo nyinaa kwa bio. Alpha OneTV ni aha na obase de mo nyinaa munim no breaking news ni nyinaa no. Aha na ni nyinaa de etwego so nsaka bia wadaroma no like ahye ama onua so ye de enye bi eti enye bi ahwe no so keep updated. Yes already. Yemfie ne nchim ne enka de wo nchim. Sabria too far de ni achim of Parliament House na nsema efifi oba no. Very very interesting. Prior just saying to obi e man closing remarks just say Afenyo Markins Canadian honorable Atforcing Canadian abamba bin so de Canadian ti ebeka the leaders in parliament obi e man no closing remarks na no na Afenyo Markins sorry na we dey anko yama no ne kasemo no on kan dia o my year for the 8th parliament na he tries to punch the NDC party. Instead say no be can deal on government na mobile my no. Continue. Oh okay. Mo na mo we need power. Ye be chire mo se de wiase ye be chire mo ye no ye be mafia mo pa keka nsem bebre. Na no eno no ankrofo ene NDC MPs asuragina omo boni tutus. Ho honorable worry. Ache some good ni masi Afenyo Markins ehu de obe onka asement ya ose obobudin nkrofo anomo orchestrate against abamba bin so omo manin be the speaker for the 9th parliament. I very very interesting because with after that news so no at force news so I backfire and yasan to enkoni kuti ni radio.
Let us allow the laws of the country to work. Mr. Speaker, in 1996, the elections delivered 133 seats for the NDC and only 61 for the NPP. That was a minority of conscience, however many its minority was.
Yes, leader. Hold on. Yes.
Hurry up.
Okay,
You can't threaten us.
leader, let me see the seat to the speaker.
Honorable Huawei. Honorable Huawei. Cameras are seeing what you are doing with your hand. Mr. Speaker, thank you and welcome back. Mr. Speaker, the NPP incoming minority will not allow the NDC government to use illegalities and unconstitutional means to frustrate and abuse the rights of former appointees of the Akufo-Addo government. Our mantra is touch one, touch all. We will encourage the NDC majority to be guided by its promise to the people of Ghana and rather use its limited time in office, the 4 years, to bring development rather than chasing political opponents. The people of Ghana are expecting the e-levy to be abolished. The people of Ghana are expecting that cocoa prices for the farmer will be increased without delay. The Ghanaian people are expecting that taxes at our ports will be reduced significantly. The people of Ghana expect that only 60 ministers will get appointed into this new government. And the 60 ministers, Mr. Speaker, these are the breakdown. All 16 regions will have one. So if you have 16, you take 16 out, you are left with 44. Of the 44.
Honorable Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker.
we are talking about the 8th
Hey,
Parliament.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Closing remarks
Speaker.
of the 8th
Mr.
Parliament.
Speaker. Mr. Speaker. I told force.
You are talking about.
Mr. Speaker. I told that today is a ceremonial day. I prepared a beautiful ceremonial speech. And I told Leader Emeritus that all the time Atu would depart. He took advantage of a ceremonial speech to lambast my government. And you think I should keep quiet? No, you won't get. I'm in the dispatch box. You see, you guys cannot take it. We sat quietly and allow you to punch us. You can't take it. Mr. Speaker has even come to your rescue. I'm not done. I won't finish now. Sit down. Sit down.
Honorable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, because of your intervention.
Please.
Mr. Speaker, because of your intervention. Mr. Speaker is my father. That is why I'm obliging him. Even of all he did for you people, you wanted to stage a coup against him. Some of you didn't want him to come again. Mr. Speaker, it is true. And if they dare me, I'll mention names. Yes. Some of you didn't want Mr. Speaker back. Of all that he did for you to get power, you wanted to remove him. It took the prayers of our side. It took the prayers of our side to get Mr. Speaker back to this house. It took our prayers to get Mr. Speaker back. Some of you wanted to stage a coup against him. Challenge me. Take a Bible or Quran and use it to defend yourself and let's see. Yes. Mr. Speaker, by the grace of God, you are back. By the grace of God, you are back. It pains some of them. You are back.
For a year, Afenyo Markins and Nimguasi and to say, Achichra telling it is a bim. Say, na this so more dua ma wo baby unyi bingo. And then they say Afenyo Markins as a leader reduce sikasa. One must be betting tax if you are moving free her. Monam so be 11 munyin free her. Monam so be cocoa prices for farmers across from Monyanesa. Monam so be a levy. But mama a fee on pot. Ninyana ba for munyin free. So you know say a the part some moyeni ya Ghana for anybody. You know say some levies and air taxes for Ghana for anybody. I feel the one say you know one sound crop for the NDC for H00t to o kwa fight my speaker like what do you want to say now only baby we no a year out of force ya ba abe back for ya nin sem ni bi I just say very interesting you couldn't go to no so the income
the illegal printing of money at the Bank of Ghana to finance government expenditure contributed to the inflationary crisis we saw that resulted in over 850,000 Ghanaians falling into extreme poverty. Mr. Speaker, the management of the central bank also illegally wrote off approximately 48 billion Ghana cedis of government indebtedness without parliamentary approval in a blatant disregard to the Public Financial Management Act 921. Right, Honorable Speaker, at the height of this crisis, the management of the central bank supervised the award of questionable contract for the construction of an ultra-modern 250 million head office and another ultra-modern governor's residence at a cost that is unknown to the public. Our concerns, Mr. Speaker, about the mismanagement of the state-owned Ghana Cocoa Board, ECG, GIHOC, STC, PBC, among others, were also ignored. Right, Honorable Speaker, for 7 consecutive years, Ghana Cocoa Board recorded losses of approximately 11 billion Ghana cedis. The cocoa production also declined drastically under the current government from approximately 1 million metric tons a year in production to now almost 400,000 metric tons. For the first time in 32 years, international banks rejected Ghana Cocoa Board request for a syndicated loan to finance the purchase of Ghana cocoa. Right, Honorable Speaker, we cannot be silent about our opposition to yet another unpopular government policy, the imposition of a regulation called the Import Restriction Regulation 2023. This detested proposed legislative instrument sought to vest unfettered and unchecked powers in the hands of the minister responsible for trade to determine who qualifies to import into the country of certain goods. Similarly, Mr. Speaker, we also raised red flags over dubious Finance Ministry SML induced $100 million a year contract for so-called revenue assurance. After initial feet-dragging and refusal by the President Akufo-Addo, to release the KPMG audit report, it finally emerged that the SML was paid a whopping 1.4 billion Ghana cedis for no work done. Right, Honorable Speaker, the Ghana Revenue Authority further failed to withhold taxes worth 13.38 billion million Ghana cedis from these payments. As we speak, unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, the entity called SML is still ripping off the taxpayer for no work done. Right, Honorable Speaker, we on this side expressed several concerns over the government handling of illegal mining menace that engulfed our nation. We are also on record to have cautioned that its pretentious fight against this existential threat to our collective survival will soon have dire consequences on us. Amid this facade of the fight, right, Honorable Speaker, high-ranking government officials, NPP functionaries, were accused by the then Cabinet Minister, Professor Frimpong Boateng, of promoting and engaging in illegal mining. So, Speaker, Galamsey later became a free-for-all enterprise involving MMDCs and other party functionaries. The records will bear us out that we on this side call for an honest, responsive approach to this menace, found on strict application to the law, no matter whose ox is God. Right, Honorable Speaker, again, our concerns were ignored. The scale of corruption and waste during this period has been staggering, alarming, and heart-wrenching. Mr. Speaker, the more we on this side spoke out, the more corruption and wastage festered. Promoting this as a result prompted the Catholic Bishop Conference to decry and describe the situation as a massive, uncontrolled corruption under this administration. The Speaker, scandals became a daily occurrence as we were treated to blatant abuse of office and plundered the public funds. Right, Honorable Speaker, we also saw a misuse of COVID-19 funds. The malfeasance that characterized the 13th African Games, the 500 million Ghana cedis National Service Ghost Names scandal. We saw the brazen attempt to shell out state hotels to a cabinet minister, and free-for-all grabbing of state lands are, Mr. Speaker, but very few that we need to mention. Right, Honorable Speaker, we also had to contend with the erosion of the independence of critical state institutions. Many of these institutions were filled with partisan elements who undermined due process to please the regime in power. So, Speaker, journalists who exposed corruptions were subjected to brutal crackdown and dissenting voices and were silenced. Right, Honorable Speaker, the silence, the insistence of the Electoral Commission of Ghana to adopt the Ghana card as the sole document of the registration for the registration of voters, even though millions of Ghanaians were yet to be issued their Ghana cards by the National Identification Authority cannot escape mention. After eventual yielding to the resistance from the gallant NDC minority caucus, the Electoral Commission decided to conduct voter registration exercise solely at its district offices instead of the designated polling stations. But for our voices, Mr. Speaker, that were heard loud on these matters, the Electoral Commission would have succeeded in denying millions of Ghanaians their right to register and vote.
Ebusian for a Afenyo Markins just an animaguasi pa just a yasimpetua. As a leader, majority leader. Currently, he is still a majority leader. And as you say, no. Honorable Wari, and I just an animal basano, digina watches it. Oh, onye. Trying to speak in favor of Ghanaians. Trying to act as if say, Opegana and Puntu, Opegana and Koso. For 8 years, 8 good years, that's more. And money, you people are still in power. 8 good years here, woman. Niama my ye tia Ghana no enye niama ketua. And no punishment na mwenya no. Sisi no. Sita malusu nyina mo pesa mo ye na movie ni. Punishment a Ghana for their mama no. And somo. Mo pesa mo ya na mo sit ni bika. And then ya Mahama so be issue 60 ministers and no Afenyo Markins won't be da. And na wo na obechire Mahama kwan obefa so choose ni any ministers. And ne ona obechichi me say region ni no 16 regions, so 16 year ministers utifi maka 44. And ne ona obechichi me say obechiche Mahama ministers mu. And no kwa obefa so aye no. Like ma Philip Poto nka moye bibia moye bibia opportunity away wenye oh ya ye 120 year interchange. You see 400 markets. You see 120 schools. Ya 100 hospitals. Ajeda wa yewe. Nanka hobobo. Nanka unkro for ye. Unibi. On say mo Parliamentary loans are maji no. Nya project biambo. Enka sabrino ka wo kire niam papa amayama Ghana for. Nanka wa kire krampo se Ghana for ebunia for. Ni aye niam we nyina mamonaston ma vote ya etia. Nanka wa kire musa. No kire di nti amulusi. Because all the government business are mulidi, including university abonso no. Ye nwa de papa bia mudi aye. Na mudi eye project ko jijiska na Ghana etia honka. Ghana etia hon tax. And so more fanya the papa bia ma Ghana for. And now na obechire kwanya the incoming government emfaso embu na memu. Ona obechiche ministers mama eye president elect. Ona abeche se policy ni policy wonyin free ho. Ona abeche se taxes wonyin free ho with ultimatum and deadlines. On say enimguase na aba masisi no hu de onke bi. Enne ni project bi abonti no ko fight am speaker. Sen crofo bi ye cool etia speaker. Standing in the House of Record. Say encrofo bi ye cool etia a speaker. Say no more person speaker be a speaker for the 9th Parliament. Chema abamba bi. Like enimguase na do swama. Hu de onye no ho. Chese hu de onsa anka so enye de enka ho. Se obubodin omo NDC MPs omo yeden or castrate say ne be ya ka speaker babin MBA speaker for the 9th Parliament. Like odwon wa want to say. And you auto force in platform onyan no or chire wudisem boni chrono akoso in this a government. How a Ghana for tea money free, Ghana for break hardship at this government do my film. And they all know that is the reason why Afenyo Markins Air Force GM say ombe 11 free. Because when him say 11 no onanka say bunuko so or pa GM at say ombra be 11 free. Meanwhile, more the power now and ya obitimi 11 fro and ya go for because we 11 fro obitimi ye fro so how ne saying asisi no enimguase na chichira ma o chere say in the 9th parliament no mo be use mo numbers etia NDC for like mo dodo yesen jisi kuye say ye huru ye bo tutu ya chese aye enimguase ama ono nkrofu obusia for a very interesting parliament menko we bia because so had the update na abro subscribe na share ma onu aso ye de enye binti Akroma.